late-night commuters in Philadelphia know the unwritten rules of public transit. You check the app twice, you keep your head down, and you never get on a bus that doesn't belong. But what happens when a bus appears that shouldn't exist at all? It was March 15th, 2023, when Reddit user Philly Night Owl first posted about the unnumbered SEPTA bus. The post, buried deep in the Philadelphia subreddit, described an encounter that would spark dozens of similar stories across the city. According to the user, they were waiting at the Broad Street and Girard Avenue stop around 2:30 in the morning when a pristine white bus pulled up with no route number displayed. The digital sign was blank, Philly Night Owl wrote, but the driver looked at me and opened the doors like I was expected. I thought maybe it was going out of service, but something felt off. The bus was too clean, too quiet, and there were passengers inside, just sitting there in complete silence. The post gained little attention initially. Philadelphia's transit system is notorious for glitches, delayed buses, and equipment malfunctions. An unnumbered bus seemed like just another SEPTA malfunction. But then more reports started surfacing. Maria Santos, a night shift nurse at Temple University Hospital, encountered the phantom bus 3 weeks later. She was running late for her shift when the unnumbered vehicle appeared at her usual stop on North Broad Street. The doors opened with that familiar SEPTA hiss, and Maria climbed aboard without thinking. I swiped my card, but the machine didn't beep, Maria recalls. The driver just nodded, and I found a seat. But as we started moving, I realized we weren't following the normal route. We were heading west on streets I'd never seen before. Even though I've lived in Philadelphia my entire life, Maria describes the other passengers as unnaturally still. They sat upright, staring straight ahead, never checking their phones or talking. The bus moved smoothly through neighborhoods that seemed familiar yet wrong, as if someone had rearranged the city's geography overnight. I tried to pull the stop cord when I realized we were going the wrong direction, Maria continues, but it wouldn't budge. Then I looked at my phone for GPS, and it showed no signal. Not just weak signal, nothing at all. Like we'd driven outside the world somehow. The bus eventually stopped, and Maria found herself at her hospital, exactly where she needed to be, despite the impossible route. When she turned back to thank the driver, the bus was gone. No engine noise, no lights disappearing down the street. Just empty pavement under the fluorescent hospital entrance, driven by curiosity and growing unease. Maria checked with SEPTA the next day. No buses were scheduled for her route at that time. More disturbing, the transit authority had no record of any bus being in that area during her shift change. The phantom bus sightings increased throughout the spring of 2023. College students reported boarding unnumbered buses near Temple University and Penn that delivered them safely to destinations while taking impossible routes. Night workers described similar experiences throughout North Philadelphia, South Philadelphia, and West Philadelphia. James Chen, a delivery driver for a 24-hour pharmacy, began documenting his encounters with the mysterious bus. Using his dash cam, he captured footage of the unnumbered vehicle appearing at stops where no buses were scheduled. The video shows a standard SEPTA bus, white with blue trim, but the route display remains completely blank. I followed it once, James explains. It made stops where people were waiting, even though those stops weren't supposed to have service at that hour. The passengers got on like they'd been expecting it. But here's the weird part. My GPS couldn't track the bus. It would appear on camera, but GPS showed nothing there. James's footage reveals another disturbing detail. The bus appears to phase slightly, becoming translucent at certain angles. Street lights shine through it, and other vehicles seem to drive through its path without collision. Yet passengers board and ride as if it were completely solid. SEPTA officials initially dismissed the reports as misidentification or pranks. Philadelphia's transit system operates over 100 bus routes, and confusion about numbering seemed plausible. However, transit police began receiving multiple reports from drivers about an unnumbered bus interfering with scheduled routes. Driver testimony painted a consistent picture. The phantom bus would appear ahead of scheduled vehicles, picking up waiting passengers before the official bus arrived. Drivers reported empty stops where their passenger counts indicated people should be waiting. Radio calls to dispatch about the unnumbered bus yielded no information about additional vehicles in service. We started tracking every bus electronically, explains a SEPTA supervisor who requested anonymity. GPS shows our buses exactly where they should be, but passengers keep boarding something else, something that doesn't show up on any of our systems. The investigation deepened when security cameras at major transit hubs began capturing the phantom bus. Footage from Broad Street Station shows the unnumbered vehicle arriving at platforms where no buses were scheduled. Passengers board calmly, as if following a routine they've performed countless times. passengers themselves. Security footage reveals people waiting at stops with no scheduled service, standing patiently as if they know something others don't. They board the phantom bus without hesitation, sitting in the same positions, maintaining the same eerie silence Maria Santos described. Dr. Rebecca Martinez, a folklore professor at University of Pennsylvania, suggests the phantom bus represents modern urban anxiety manifested through collective, unconscious experience. Cities create their own mythologies, she explains. Public transit systems, with their rigid schedules and routes, become perfect frameworks for supernatural encounters. The phantom bus fulfills a psychological need: reliable transportation in an unreliable world. But Martinez's academic explanation doesn't account for the physical evidence. Multiple witnesses, security footage, and electronic anomalies suggest something beyond collective imagination. The phantom bus continues appearing throughout Philadelphia. Recent sightings include Frankfurt, Germantown, and South Philadelphia neighborhoods. Each encounter follows the same pattern. An unnumbered bus arrives at stops where no service is scheduled, picks up waiting passengers, and delivers them safely to their destinations via impossible routes. Passengers describe the experience as simultaneously comforting and terrifying. The bus provides exactly the service they need, but the journey feels wrong, as if they're traveling through a Philadelphia that exists parallel to the real city. Some writers report glimpsing familiar landmarks through the windows, but arranged incorrectly. City Hall appears where the art museum should be. The Delaware River flows in the wrong direction. Street signs display names that don't exist on any official map. The phantom bus raises questions that SEPTA cannot answer. Who drives it? Where does it originate? Most importantly, what happens to the passengers who have been riding it for months? Because according to recent reports, some of the silent passengers appear to be the same individuals, riding the same route, night after night. They board at the same stops, sit in the same seats, and maintain the same unsettling silence, as if they're no longer passengers at all, but part of the bus itself. So the next time you're waiting at a Philadelphia bus stop late at night, and an unnumbered bus appears exactly when you need it most, ask yourself one question. Are you boarding public transportation? Or are you becoming part of something that was never meant to exist?